there is a question. One third of distance is traveled at 2 meter per second. Another one third of the distance is covered at 3 meter per second. And the remaining distance is covered at 6 meters per second. Find the average velocity v average. So we know that average velocity equals to net displacement by total time, or v average equals to del S by del T. That means whatever the displacement a body has covered is to be divided by the time taken to cover the distance. ଯେତିକି ଗୋଟେ initial point ରୁ ଗୋଟେ final point ଯାକେ ଗୋଟେ body cover କରୁଛି, that is displacement. And ତା ପାଇଁ ଯେତିକି time ଲାଗୁଛି ସେଟା ହେଉଛି time interval or total time taken. Now ए case रे କେମିତି କରାଯିବ? Assume there is a distance. ଏଇଟାକୁ ଧରି ନିଅ AB. Now, one third of distance is traveled at 2 meter per second. So, one third point A ରୁ A ଯାକେ AC is one third of the distance and it is traveled at 2 meter per second. Again, तापरे कौन? CD is also one third of the distance. It is traveled at 3 meter per second. And जेतिकी remaining distance रहिला, it is traveled at 6 meters per second. So, a case रे, if we say AC is x by 3, CD is x by 3, dB equals to x by 3. If AC is one third, CD is one third, dB is also one third of the distance. So, del S is equals to x by 3 plus x by 3 plus x by 3. This is keeping in mind that AB is x meters. So this is the total displacement. Now total time taken equals to time taken to cover AC plus time taken to cover CD plus time taken to cover dB. Now time taken to cover AC केते? AC रो distance होची और AC रो displacement होची x by 3, velocity होची 2 meter per second. Plus CD रो time केते? और time period required to cover CD or one third of the distance is x by 3 meters divided by velocity. because time is equals to displacement by velocity. x by 3 meter होची displacement, cd ର velocity होची 3 meter per second. ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ body c ରୁ d को travel करूची तार velocity 3 meters per second plus db, time required for covering db, is x by 3 meters divided by velocity. That velocity is 6 meters per second. So that essentially means हम x by 3 common नहीं परिवा, x by 3 multiplied by 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 6, that is equals to x by 3 into 3 plus 2 plus 1 by 6 x by 3. So total time taken is x by 3 seconds and total displacement is x meters. Then V average equals to del S by del T equals to x by x by 3 meters per second. That means x by x into 3 meters per second or 3 meters per second. This was a very simple problem. There can be similar problems in your questions. This is question number 2. For a given case of two-dimensional motion, we have x equals 5 sine 10t, y equals 5 cos 10t. We have to find the speed at t equals 2 seconds and t equals 5 seconds. Now let us first know that speed equals to distance by time. So let us first find the speed along the x-axis, right? That means d by dt of x or d by dt of 5 sine 10t. That means 5 will remain as a constant and we will have d by dt of sine 10t. ता माने 5 into cos 10t into 10. That means 5 into cos 10t into 10. Cos 10t is the derivative of sin 10t and 10 is the derivative of 10t. Chain rule. That means 50 cos 10t. Similarly, Vy equals to d by dt of y. That means d by dt of 5 cos 10t, that is 5 into derivative of cos 10t, right, minus sin 10t into 10, that is equals to minus 50 sin 10t. Now these are two vectors. Say this is Vx, this is Vy. Now how do you add two vectors? You find the resultant. This is not the exact pictorial representation or graphical representation of the given question, but this is just for informational purposes. If there are two vectors and you're adding them. So in this case, how do you add them? V square equals to Vx square plus Vy square plus 2 Vx Vy cos theta, where theta is the angle between the two vectors. Now in this case, the vectors can be represented somehow like this. This is Vx and this is Vy. This, or that means the cos theta value is 90. Cos 90 is 0. Any number multiplied by 0 becomes 0. So this term is nullified. That means V is equals to 50 cos 10t squared plus 50 sin 10t squared whole root over. That means 2500 root over cos square 10t plus sin square 10t. That means V equals to root over of 2500 or 50 meters per second. Now this was the second question. Now this is another question that you can get. If velocity v equals to alpha square root of x, where alpha is a constant and x is the displacement, how will displacement depend upon t? So as per this question, v is the velocity and alpha root over of x is the value of v, whereas x is the displacement. In any case, we know that velocity is rate of change of displacement. Here x is the displacement, v is the velocity, and the value of velocity is already given, right? That is alpha square root of x. Now then, how do we find the value of x? Or how do we relate x to time? Let us see. We can write dx by dt equals to integration of alpha del x, right? Both sides are being integrated, so this means we are integrating both sides. Now what we can do is we can rearrange, bringing similar terms to one side. Dx by root over of x equals to integration of alpha dt. That basically means integration of x to the power minus 1 by 2 dx equals to integration of alpha dt. What does that mean? X to the power of minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by minus 1 by 2 plus 1 equals to alpha t plus any constant c. Now keep in mind the basic formula: x to the power n dx equals to x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. This is what we have used in this section. Now, after this, what we write is x to the power of 1 by 2 by 1 by 2 equals to alpha t plus c. और ଆମେ ଏମିତି ବି ଲିଖିପାରିବା 2 x to the power of 1 by 2 equals to alpha t plus constant. That means let us square both sides, LHS, RHS. Squaring both of them, we have 4x to the power 1 equals to alpha t plus c whole squared. Now in this case, note what we have obtained is x equals to alpha t plus c whole squared by 4. This means x is proportional to alpha t plus c whole squared. We can expand alpha t plus c whole squared, but just note that in this expansion that we'll have alpha square t square plus c square plus 2 alpha square, sorry, 2 alpha t c. Here the highest power of t is 2. Hence x displacement is proportional to t squared. So option B is the करेक्ट आंसर। ठीक अच्छे आ गोटे क्वेश्चन ट्राए करवा। एटा क्वेश्चन नंबर 4। As per this question, for any particle, a given particle, the displacement is t cubed minus 6 t square plus 3t plus 4. Find velocity v if acceleration is 0. So ए जगह कौन करिवार अछि, velocity find करिवार अछि, and condition given is acceleration is equals to 0. Acceleration माने कौन? Change in velocity per unit time is 0, and velocity value एठी दिया ही नहीं. That means आमको फर्स्ट velocity value फाइंड करने को पड़ो. केमती फाइंड करवा? velocity रो डेफिनेशन रे मेंशन कराई थिला that velocity is the rate of change of displacement. एठी displacement कौन मेंशन कराई छे? t cubed minus 6t squared plus 3t plus 4. ता माने होची 3t squared minus 6 into 2t plus 3 plus 0. That is 3t squared minus 12t plus 3. Now acceleration रो condition mention कराई छे that dv by dt or acceleration is equals to 0. So dv by dt रो value कौन? d by dt of 3t squared minus 12t plus 3. ता मने d by dt of 3t squared minus d by dt of 12t plus d by dt of 3. Now we know that d by dt of 3 is 0 because derivative of a constant equals to 0. Now d by dt of 3t squared re 3 into 2t minus d by dt of 12t is 12. Note यार बेसिक फॉर्मूला होची d by dx of x to the power of n is equals to n x to the power of n minus 1. That is 60 minus 12. A or acceleration equals to 60 minus 12. आम मान को यहाँ भी मेंशन कराई कि acceleration is 0. So 60 minus 12 equals to 0. That is 60 equals to 12 or t equals to 2. Right? So at t equals to 2 seconds, acceleration is 0. If acceleration is 0 at t equals to 2 seconds, our question कौन थिला? Find velocity v if acceleration is 0. At that instant of time, acceleration 0 अच्छे and t equals to 2 seconds. से टाइम रे हमको वेलोसिटी फाइंड आउट करिवार अछि. वेलोसिटी एक्सप्रेशन हमें बाहर करछे, राइट. वेलोसिटी इज 3t raised to the power of 2 minus 12t plus 3. So t जगह हमें वैल्यू यूज करिवा 2. That means 3 into 2 squared minus 12 into 2 plus 3. That is 3 into 4, 12 minus 24 plus 3. That is minus 9 meters per second. So the value of velocity at the instant when acceleration equals to 0 is minus 9 meters per second. Keep in mind, you can be giving similar questions. तुमको ये टाइप जो जो क्वेश्चंस मिलिबो डिस्प्लेसमेंट मेंशन कराई थिबो, वेलोसिटी बाहर करिवार थिबो. So that means you have to use velocity equals to rate of change of displacement or displacement दिया जाइथिबो, एक्सेलरेशन बाहर करिवार थिबो. तापई तुमको ताकू दी थर ड्राइव करिवो पड़िबो. फर्स्ट तुम्हें वेलोसिटी बाहर करिवो यूजिंग दिस फॉर्मूला. आफ्टर फाइंडिंग वेलोसिटी तुम एक्सेलरेशन बाहर करिवो यूजिंग द फॉर्मूला dv by dt. जो जो केसेस रे कंडीशन देथिबो एक्सेलरेशन इक्वल्स टू 0 से केस रे तुम्हें ए जो एक्सप्रेशन बाहरिबो जस्ट एज वी डिड इन द क्वेश्चन से जगारू टी रो वैल्यू बाहर करिवो एंड देन यू विल फाइंड द अदर वैल्यूज. सो आई होप मु आज जति एक्सप्लेन कली आम मैंने समस्ते क्लीयरली बुझी पारछे. एंड इफ देयर आर एनी डाउट्स you can post it in the comment section.